Who is going into healthcare? Raise your hands or think they're going into healthcare. Okay, awesome. I wear a lot of different hats at Jefferson. One hat is practicing in the emergency room, and I also run a design thinking program at the medical school. It's the first of its kind for a medical school in the country where we teach medical students how to apply human-centered design to solve problems in healthcare. Healthcare is the largest industry in the US. You know, it's greater than $3 trillion. It's 18% of our GDP. There are more jobs in healthcare than any other industry. This morning I spoke to the students about how we need them in healthcare. Healthcare is blowing up as an industry, and there's so much opportunity for innovation in healthcare. So I challenge them that you don't need to become a physician or a nurse to work in healthcare. And what I want to emphasize is that your superpower is not going to be being the smartest kid in the room, being the smartest adult in the room. You guys are already that, but in order to succeed, I believe it's really applying your creativity to solving problems.
My name's Rob, Dr. Rob. I'm a clinical pharmacist, but I'm a bunch of other things. I'm a maker, I'm a designer. For a long time, everybody's looked at medicine as a purely scientific endeavor, right? You know, I'm only gonna go become a doctor if I'm a chemist or a biologist or something like that. But it's been shown that engineers and writers and artists are just as good, if not better, doctors than somebody who's spent their whole life in biology or chemistry. Today I had the opportunity to talk about our work in innovating in healthcare and specifically how we use 3D printing to do that. One of the misconceptions about 3D printing is that it's really hard. It's not. Honestly, I know 8-year-olds who are better at it than I am. And it's in that it's expensive, and it's not. You can buy a 3D printer that would build any one of the things on this table for $300 and build it yourself. And if you've never been exposed to how a 3D printer works before, this is one technology. It's called fused deposition modeling, and it's the easiest way to explain it. Basically, it's a robotic glue gun. It's really no more complicated than that. It takes a plastic that melts at a certain temperature that comes in a spool like this, melts it down and deposits it in a really precise fashion. And as you can see here, this is sped up. This is about 6 hours of time. 3D printing is an awesome tool, but really the important part is that it enables you to get your ideas out of your head, right? Because an idea that stays in your head is not going to go anywhere. Don't be afraid to show your ideas to people, because a lot of these ideas were concepts that might have been forgotten and potentially can have an incredible impact.
I'm involved in the Jeff Design program. So it teaches design thinking, and what's great about the program is it helps foster our own design projects. When I was doing my master's, we came up with an invention to help support Bangladeshi garment factory workers. They work really long days, 6 days a week. They only have 3 months of maternity leave. They basically go back to work almost as soon as they've given birth. And we saw this as a really big issue. They needed to work, but they weren't being given the health care that they needed at work. So they would go back to work and their babies would be still at home, they would get fed formula, and they'd get sick and often die. So what's the best thing to feed a baby? Breast milk. So what we did was create a way for them to express their breast milk at work and then preserve it without refrigeration so that they could continue to feed their infants. That was October 2015, and the project is still going. This is a project that I've been passionate about, and it continues to change the lives of people. And I came about it kind of by accident, but find your passion, follow it, find a solution.
My name's Tim Bober. I'm a 4th-year medical student over at Jefferson and one of the founding members of Circulux Incorporated. I'm part of this team of med students and engineers that are developing a circadian-friendly smart nightlight to help optimize overnight care in the hospital. Patients actually rank sleep deprivation as their 3rd greatest fear in the hospital, after only pain and being placed on a breathing machine. We saw our nursing colleagues holding flashlights up to certain areas or holding their cell phones up to see just certain things. So we gave them the Circulight, which can be placed anywhere in a patient room that they need to see. As they approach, it'll sense them and light up, and it'll give off sleep-friendly light that's less disruptive. We've piloted these lights over at Jefferson, and patients and providers really like them. And we were just honored to be named the most promising university startup company at the Angel Venture Fair. I'm probably the last person in the world that you would expect to have a medical device startup company. I was an English major in undergrad. I wrote an honors thesis in Victorian fiction, but here I am pitching and part of this really highly technical team. But what I've learned is that there are so many different skills, writing and business and engineering, that can help to really make something a reality. So that's my insight today, I guess, is that if you're interested, if you're passionate and you're willing to grow, you can contribute whatever your background is.